to clean up some of the information on Wikipedia to improve the skeptical content on that site. She now has 80 volunteers editing in 17 languages and has made a huge impact through this guerrilla skepticism. She founded the Monterey County Skeptics and is a steering member of the Independent Investigations Group, an organization that investigates fringe science, paranormal, and extraordinary claims and disseminates factual information about these claims to the public. Please welcome Susan Gerbic.
That's what everybody has to say when you get here. Can you hear me? No. It's going on off that number. And I can use the power of my mind to try to turn it on, but I'm hoping somebody will come to my rescue and tell me what it is.
Can you switch on the top?
Oh, the one that says on? Well, it says in.
Oh, actually.
It's on now.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Susan Gerbic, coming all the way from Salinas, California. So this weather that you have here is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you today about preaching beyond the choir, because we know that you all here have kind of got it. But we're trying to change minds worldwide. And as Debbie said yesterday, and I changed my lecture today based on some of the things that Debbie said yesterday, because I think she did a phenomenal job. Her experience growing up and becoming an atheist is similar to my experience as well. So I didn't have nuns in Catholic schools and so on. But it was pretty illuminating what she said. I learned a lot from Debbie yesterday. So one of the things she did say is we're trying to change the world, we're trying to change minds, and we're trying to do it one at a time, and that is exactly what I do. I'm a skeptical activist, and I want you to just substitute some of the things that I might mention for whatever your activism is, your idea, your passion, your interest. And what you'll see right here is just a few of the different things that of many things that could be your activism angle. And we have here ghosts, of course. I know, of course, people say they've been debunked and all that, but you know what? Lots of people still believe, and they're still on TV. Religion, and all the different elements of religion. Here's just medical, whatever you want. This is acupuncture. My oncologist, believe it or not, just the other day told me, I was telling him I had a little pain in my armpit after I've had surgery, and he said, well, we can treat it with acupuncture. And I was just like, oh dear, can I have another oncologist? And then dowsing, just kind of for fun. This little space right here, does anybody know what this might represent? Because it really does represent something. This is my homeopathy square. Good, I'm glad you got that job. Don't worry. Okay, so when you need to find your passion. You need to figure out what it is that interests you. You need to figure out what it is that's going to enlighten you, that's going to make you feel passionate about whatever it is that you want to do. And don't try to choose something that is important to the world necessarily. Find out what's important to you first. Because you need to believe in it, you need to feel passionate about it, and you need to be able to want to make it your expertise of sorts. And we have people who do all different kinds of things. Water witching, which is dowsing, fire walking, animal ESP, all kinds of different things that are out there that are areas that would be great to have for expertise for you and that are not necessarily fulfilled. But become a specialist in your area, and this is what I would suggest. But before you start on a project, first kind of think, what's my goal? Am I trying to reach the audience of believers? Am I trying to reach the target, the person who I'm actually aiming for, that's a pseudoscience or whatever? Am I trying to encourage more people to join my group? Am I trying to train each other? What are we trying to do? What is my goal? And how am I going to know when I'm done? How am I going to measure my level of success? And that's really important, because you don't know when you're done. You have to have some kind of indicators. And it might not seem at first that it's easy to figure out what it is that you're measuring or how to measure, but if, you think it through. There's studies and surveys you can do a lot of different ways. And I use Wikipedia a lot to be able to tell how a popularity of an item is coming and going. And there's a statistics tool that, I mean, it's easy to use. It's not a secret for Wikipedia editors or anything like that. Anybody can use it. But we can tell the popularity of something. So generically, Wikipedia is the easiest way to use to judge the popularity of something because everybody's using Wikipedia pretty much. So if you're trying to change believers' minds, I have news for you. It's not a really good idea because once a person is a believer, you're going to find it's very hard to change their minds. But keep this in mind. For a very small amount of time in the mind of a believer, probably there's going to be a window of opportunity where you have a chance to change minds. And we know this over and over and over from, anecdotal stories. we know that we know that we do change minds because a lot of us here came from religious households, religious upbringings, or paranormal, beliefs, some kind of fringy medical things that we had, and you guys all know. I can see you guys out there. I know that you know that this is where you came from, and eventually you do change your mind. But you don't get your mind changed by somebody shouting at you, belittling you. Nobody changes their mind that way. There's an opportunity where you're starting to think, gee, maybe there's something wrong with this Scientologist stuff. I don't really have any money anymore, and my life is devoted to it. I wonder if there's something else to this. And what they're going to do is they're going to Google the word and they're going to find their evidence. When people say to you, I'll go check it out, or let me do some research, or whatever, what they mean, well, they're probably going to ask some of their friends, obviously, but what they mean is they're going to go and they're going to Google it. Okay, substitute the word Google for whatever your favorite search engine is, but they're going to put it into the internet, and they're going to look and see what comes up, right? We all know this, right? Okay, so here's your search engine list. It's very important as an activist to move these things up to the top. The search engine, this is the phrase Sylvia Brown. Does everybody know who Sylvia Brown is? She's a Greek vampire. Oh my gosh, it's hardly any hands. I'm really surprised.
Oh.
There's 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Okay, all right. Okay, so right now. So Sylvia Brown is a Greek vampire. Everybody has their favorite passional that they're after, and mine are psychic detectives, and Sylvia Brown in particular is somebody who's just egregious and just harmful and just awful. Anyway, so when you put Sylvia Brown into your search engine, you're going to see that some things come up, and these little red circles I'm going to talk about. Does anybody, before I've even said anything, know what these those little red and green buttons are over here on the side? Do you guys have a clue? Because you're supposed to be a nice technologically advanced crowd because you're young. So, sorry, stereotyping again, sorry. But anyway, that's Web of Trust, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And then you'll see that here Sylvia Brown comes up first, her main page, followed by her tour dates, followed by her Wikipedia page. And here's an article that hit the news like major time. Sylvia Brown's failed Mandatory prediction. Sylvia Brown's a woman who just recently was in the news in May, I believe, for the women who were abducted in Ohio and held prisoner for many years, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. And she went on to one of the mothers of the children who was abducted went on Montel Williams and asked her, Sylvia Brown there, if her daughter was alive, and she said, no, your daughter's dead. Her daughter kind of just turned up a couple months ago, but the mother died before she died a couple years after Sylvia Brown told her that, and it was devastating. Stop Sylvia Brown, this is a dear friend of mine's site, who showed us what activism can be like on the internet. So it's important for you to try to get your hit count up so much that you're able to see this kind of thing where it should fit in that area. Okay, Skeptic Actions, a lot of you got my business card. This is a project that I'm doing. At first I started to do the history of skepticism, activism, and so on, and I cut that almost all out last night. I said, I'm just going to kind of gear in for what I'm doing. because there's a lot of things out there that a lot of people are doing, and I'm really proud of them. They're all using different kinds of elements to do it. But just for time, I thought I would just really go into what I'm doing. For all of you out there who know that is, you guys know what that is? QR code, thank you. Yeah, you're using some of your smartphones to be able to go instantly to a website. And what this would bring you to is to my Twitter and Facebook group called Skeptic Action. I started this in May, and it's because I've always wanted to have, I didn't have a lot of time, so I wanted something to do once a day. And so when you sign up for this on Twitter or on Facebook, hopefully you'll all do this today, you will be joining a unique group of people who are going to receive one thing a day to do. And you could save them up and do 7 of them at the end of the week or whatever you want to do. But we mostly use Web of Trust and Rebutter. And this is Rebutter. Any Rebutter people out here? One. All right, okay. This is about a year old, and it's only on Google Chrome right now. This is a, let me just show you a picture and it'll probably make a little more sense. If you Google if you're on Google Chrome and you have Rebutter installed in your browser, then you're going to find that when you come to certain pages on the internet, pro and con, skeptical, critical thinking, you might find something like this. This is Rebutter, has one rebuttal up here. And this will appear on your screen for 5 seconds. And if you were to click on this, so you've got this person over here that's typed in, what is homeopathy? And then this Wikipedia, this website. Trust me, this page is not, this is a pro-homeopathy page, right? So this will come up here, and if you clicked on it, it will go to an anti-homeopathy page. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to open up minds and trying to preach beyond the choir by letting people know that there is another opinion out there. And this is great. We use this for believers. We really, really encourage believers in different things to go to these pages because to use Rebutter, because they have to come up with their best argument. And then they go to look for our best argument. See how this works? And then they put it on their page. They'll say, evolution, that's nonsense. So what they'll do is they'll go to their creation page or whatever, and they'll redo it, and they'll rebut it. So they're two different arguments on two different sides of the world, two different totally extremes. And this is just barely starting out.